The rectangle primitive and oval primitive tools that are underneath the rectangle tool, or grouped with it, work in much the same way as rectangles and ovals, but with some additional capabilities of rounding corners and changing the beginning and ending angle for an oval really to make more of like a wedge, and doing an inner radius. So let's take a look at these two tools. Both of these tools draw in object drawing mode turned on by default. That's the only way you can create with these things, is to create objects rather than merge drawings. So I'm going to take the rectangle primitive tool, and I would draw a rectangle or a square the same way I did with the rectangle tool. But you'll notice we get some little handles on the four corners that if I take the selection tool, I can drag and round the corners. I can also round those corners here in the Properties panel by specifying a value. So 0 is going to be square corners. If I do a negative value, let's do -50, we can concave the corners. You'll notice there's a little chain link here that I can also click and unlink the corners, and now we can do each corner individually if we wanted. Notice there's also a reset button, and I can take it back to where all the corners are 0 and it's linked back together. I can round out these corners, and this is an object. If I want to make it part of a merged drawing, I can go to the Modify menu and choose Ungroup, and I may have to do that a couple times, and now it is a merged object. In fact, if I draw a line through the object, notice I can pull it apart. I can no longer go back and change the roundness of the corners once I've made this a merged shape. I'm going to select everything and delete it. Let's look at the oval primitive. I'm going to go ahead and make my primitive a circle. And the options here in the Properties panel is to have a starting angle and end angle. So I can adjust the starting angle, and I can also adjust the end angle. And set those back each to 0. There's also an inner radius that we can make this into a donut shape, and if I wanted, I could change the beginning and end radius there as well. Again, if I want to make this a merged drawing, I can go to the Modify menu and choose Ungroup a couple times, and it is now a merged drawing.